Welcome to Mélomani's virtual season. I'm Kim Raley, flutist and co-artistic director.
I'm Tracy Richardson, harpsichordist and co-artistic director. We miss seeing you in person this season, and we hope you are well. This season, we will offer you a series of 5 free streamed programs.
Each program brings you Mélomani's provocative pairings of early music and contemporary music. They will include Baroque music, solos, duos, music from our living composers, and short interviews with the composers.
We have 3 new CDs of contemporary music to sample for you this season. The first is Ultraviolet, with 5 pieces for the ensemble.
A Hint of Light Remains has 4 duos written for Tracy and me, and Up to the Light has the 4 large-scale pieces written by Mark Haggerty for our ensemble and guests.
Visit our website at mélomanie.org for further information on our programs, to hear the longer composer interviews, and for further information on our CDs.
Each CD comes with a beautiful insert of program notes and special artwork. We hope you'll enjoy our programs this season.
Greetings from Mélomanie. We're looking forward to spending about the next 30 minutes or so with you. We're going to be bringing you a really fun program. We've just finished hearing the ensemble performing a movement from Telemann's Paris Quartet in A major. Continuing in our program today, we'd like to preview one of our upcoming CDs called A Hint of Light Remains, which is actually a collection of flute and harpsichord duos. We're going to be hearing an excerpt from Suzanne Sorkin's work, which is the title work of the CD. We're also going to be checking in with our new CD, Ultraviolet, featuring Richard Belcastro's new composition, Buddleja Davidii. We're going to be hearing excerpts from that work as well. By way of introduction, we're going to be hearing some great interviews with Suzanne Sorkin and Richard Belcastro. And along the way, we'll also hear Donna performing for us solo. So we hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you on the other side.
Welcome, welcome. I'm Tracy Richardson, and I'm the harpsichordist and co-artistic director of the music ensemble Mélomanie. Today, we're speaking with composer Suzanne Sorkin, and she is the composer of A Hint of Light Remains. That's the title track from Mélomanie's new CD of duos for flute and harpsichord. Dr. Sorkin is a professor of composition and music theory at St. Joseph's University in Pennsylvania, where she's also the department head. We're so happy to see you, Suzanne.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Tracy. It's a pleasure being with you today, and I am so grateful to you and to Kim for your outstanding artistry. Composing this piece for you two has been such an exciting and rewarding collaboration.
We love your piece, and we have loved working on it and performing it and recording it. Now, you are a pianist, and yet you've written beautifully for the harpsichord. Great work. Will you talk about the distinct characteristics of the piano and the harpsichord? And did you have any challenges in writing to the harpsichord and for the harpsichord, and how did you acclimate to it?
I'd be happy to talk about this process. Thank you so much. This was my first time writing for the harpsichord, and I wanted to immerse myself in the unique sound world of the instrument, so that my writing could be idiomatic for the harpsichord and not just a generic keyboard instrument. The harpsichord is not the piano, and it has many unique and striking features. So as part of this immersion process, I spent a good deal of time at your home and getting to know your harpsichords and listening to you demonstrate specific features of the instrument. Tracy, you are an excellent teacher. And then as my musical ideas for the piece started to materialize, I went back several more times to your home to spend time working on the piece at the harpsichord. What I fell in love with is the distinct timbres of each register and how I could reveal those features over time in the composition, purposefully withholding certain registers in the harpsichord, such as the lowest octave, so that it could emerge at key moments in the piece. The second difference that I found between writing for piano and composing for the harpsichord has to do with voice leading. The harpsichord has such a great pointedness and clarity of sound. I wanted to be careful not to make the harmonic material too dense or too muddy. The brilliance of the flute with the expressive clarity of the harpsichord is really a magical combination.
You know, the name of it is A Hint of Light Remains, and is there an inspiration behind that?
I did read this poem by the contemporary American poet Jane Hirshfield, and her poem is called 3 Times My Life Has Opened. And in the poem, she briefly describes 3 different life stages. The first, darkness and rain. The second, love. And then the third, the fire that holds all. But then she states in the poem, these 3 were not different. And that idea served as a kind of formal scaffolding in my piece. So although in A Hint of Light Remains, there are three different textures, three distinct sections. The materials therein are not different. They are all bound in a way to the opening motive, the opening material, and that is a kind of thread that binds together all sections of the piece. So her poem sparked a kind of formal structure for me, and has some resonance throughout the composition.
Everyone's going to hear the first part of A Hint of Light Remains today. Kim and I will play it. And what will we hear when we begin?
Terrific. Well, I'm thrilled that our audience will be able to hear the piece and that you and Kim will be performing it for them. And as the piece begins, the audience hears a close union between the flute and the harpsichord. They are equal, but interdependent. The flute will present an initial melodic motive, while the harpsichord will bring forward crucial harmonic material, completing the essence of the melodic motive. So the harpsichord and the flute together, it's a complete thought. I do really wish to immerse myself in the sound world of the instruments that I'm writing for, and even beyond that, the performers that I'm writing for. I do feel that it is a collaboration. So working with you and working with Kim, we shared ideas throughout the process, which has been incredibly rewarding. Receiving feedback from you and receiving feedback from Kim during the compositional process really helped me shape the work.
Thank you for speaking with us today, and we are looking forward to premiering your piece. Well, we premiered your piece already. We're looking forward to playing it again in a concert in February, where Kim Raley is a professor at Westchester University. Of course, they're not having any live concerts, so we will record that ahead of time in total and present it with other pieces. So we'll let you know about that too. Thank you for speaking with us.
Tracy, it's been such a pleasure. And again, I thank you for your outstanding artistry, and I thank Kim as well. None of this would have been possible without both of you. Thank you again.
Thank you again.
Hello, I'm here having a great chat with Richard Belcastro, a fantastic composer of this area here that Mélomanie had the fortune of performing one of his works. And actually, one of his works is featured on an upcoming CD that we are releasing sometime this season. Ricky, we're talking about one piece that is your piece that's featured in our CD.
Yes.
It is Buddleja Davidii, if I'm pronouncing that right.
It's got a few options. That, I think, is one of them.
So when I looked it up, it's nothing. It's a butterfly bush.
It's just a plant.
So this is what we're talking about, right?
That is exactly what we're talking about.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit, like, what prompted you to write this piece for Mélomanie? Why is it called what it is called? Let us know about what you think about all this.
Well, sure. So initially, Tracy was interested in commissioning a new work. And I went over to her place to talk through options. And I mentioned to her that I played the sitar. And, you know, lights went off and she was excited about doing something with it. Thinking about the sounds of the harpsichord and some of the sounds of the sitar and how they might interlink started to get us excited about it. Yeah. Now the title, it's the timing of the thing. I had recently moved at the commissioning of the piece into the house I'm living in. And out back they had a massive butterfly bush. And you know, I had never had one before. This was a new thing to me. And seeing just the immense number of butterflies and moths and bees and anything and everything swarming around this thing constantly. I mean, there'd be no short of 20 to 30 butterflies on it at a time. And in the case of this one, it was in the process that I really started to think about form and structure and some of the ideas of this, you know, swarming sounds around the resonance of the sitar. So you have that uniqueness of the sitar really is the sympathetic strings and that sort of natural reverb that exists in the instrument. And to me, that mixing with the different sounds of Mélomanie really matched with this idea of the butterfly bush to me. And so that's really the connection that led to it. For a bit of fun, there's a lot of things that I play, and it's one of them. It's very large.
Yeah, it's amazing.
If you see most sitars, you'll see gaps between some of the frets. Mine is fretted all the way. But you would set the frets, because they're movable, into the place that is best suited for the raga. To make it simple, if you wanted to play a C major scale, you set the fret so that E is natural. If you wanted a C minor scale, you would push the fret back so you get your E flat, and you'll never make a mistake because, you know, the fret's not there. But yeah, that's the basic concept of that. Sound-wise, everybody would be watching this would see all sorts of pegs up and down the instrument. So the tiny pegs are sympathetic strings. Those are the things we talked about that are resonating out as a natural reverb. And then the larger pegs up at the top are your main playing strings. So there's strings on the top of the instrument, and there's a bunch of strings under it. And those run underneath the frets. So if I hit a given note, you have that echo. I don't know if it comes through on this. So that extra echoing sound is a huge part of what gives the sitar its unique quality. The other aspect of it is the bridge. And if you see the bridge on these instruments, if I can get it close, it's quite flat and thick.
Yeah.
Now you obviously are used to bridges with a very fine point on your violin, right?
Right.
So that hard edge gives you a clear and clean note. This is sort of like an airplane wing. It slowly slopes back and forth. So the string comes off the edge of the bridge at a gradual angle. That angle, when you strike the string, gives a little buzz there, sort of like a sul ponticello type concept where you're getting something different by getting those harmonics at the bridge end.
That's right.
And so that kind of nasally character to it is because of that. And so that's one of the characteristics. Then similarly to like a banjo, I mean, if you've seen a 5-string banjo, they have the high, I believe it's a C, at the top side of the fingerboard that's used kind of in the claw hammer style and other things. You can get this high note on the low end. So with the sitar, we have the same thing. These high strings, in this case, there's 4 of them. Some players play with 2, 3, but they're all accents. They're pre-tuned.
Mm-hmm.
And I can play them as accompaniment. So you can have sort of a vocal quality. And you can be your own accompanist.
Interestingly enough, the harpsichord and the sitar actually were an incredibly beautiful blend, and you actually added a small sort of cadenza type improvisation in the middle of the piece.
Yeah.
Where it went back and forth between Tracy on the harpsichord and you on the sitar, this dialogue. There was actually, even though such different worlds, but an incredible match at the same time. That sound of the sitar in rehearsals and in concerts, it's always transports the whole group sort of in a different direction, and it's magic.
After going through all the edits, all the mixing, everything that had to be there, and finally really hearing this recording, I couldn't stop listening to it. This is absolutely incredible, and I'm thrilled to get this out. Can't wait for people to hear it. I think they're going to love it.
That's a wrap for us today. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope you'll look out for our future concerts. We have a total of 5 planned for this season. If you're interested in hearing longer versions of our composer interviews, you can find those on our website. Goodbye for now. We'll look forward to seeing you throughout the season.